Category 3 is volume, surface area, transformations, and your, of course, parallel lines cut by a transversal. We're not going to be able to fit all of that in, so we're going to kind of get more big bang for our buck. So we're going to start off with volume and surface area. Remember those things that are on your test. They're going to have words for you to tell you, I'm going to this section of my formula chart. Fill, hold, space inside. You're going to make sure you use volume equals area of whichever base you're choosing, a cone or a cylinder. And then a sphere is one on its own. So redraw your base, plug in your values, and remember, this is a big important one. Please write it on your brain dump that the height is equal to volume divided by the area of the base. Total and lateral surface area. In your test, you'll be reading a problem, and there are specific words to tell you that you're going to this section of your formula chart, which is label, paint, painting a post, painting a room, wrapping a present. All of those things are going to cover. Material to make. How those things are going to tell us to go to this section of our formula chart. Whether we're wanting faces only and no bases and only the sides, that's going to be lateral. You're going to need to read so you know which one they're asking for. Total is going to be everything. We're not leaving anything uncovered. Let's see, the big things when we look on our formula chart. Capital P, make sure you read it the way we make you read it in class. Perimeter of the base, area of the base, height of the prism or height of the triangle. Those are two things that we get mixed up. We get those two numbers. It's asking for height of the prism versus height of a triangle. Make sure we're still reading to know whether they want one base or two bases of our formula. Okay. Now we're going to move on to transformations. All right, really quickly, we know reflections, they flip. So if it whatever axis it reflects across, it's going to stay the same. So this one is going to be a reflection across the y-axis because y is staying the same. Okay, and here you can see x changed. The next one, x stays the same, so it reflects across the x-axis. And y changed.
30 seconds.
With translations, even rotations and dilations, make sure that you label which one's your image and which one's your original, okay? So translations, remember that they add and subtract. Here are your key words, okay? You can see that right here. Make sure you look for those. All right, next we have rotations. Rotations turn. So if you turn it to the right, that's clockwise. Counterclockwise is turning it to the left. Make sure that you pick a point and write down the coordinates for that point. Okay, so let's say, for example, we've got Q located at 3, 2. Then I'm going to rotate my test booklet wherever it needs to go. Okay, and so if I have to rotate my test booklet, I'm going to rotate it, and then I'm going to write down the new points. And so what you're going to want to do is come over here. You've got them written one on top of the other, and you can easily identify what has occurred. So you can see here that your x and y values flipped and that the x value changed. Okay, so make sure you guys do that. Then when we have dilations, all of these we want to analyze our graph. We want to make sure that we know, hey, this is what kind of change is taking place. The operation for translations or addition and subtraction, and the operation for dilation is multiplication. Why is that important? Because we can eliminate answer choices just based off of that.
Right, so
okay?
Determine whether it's an enlargement or if it's a reduction, because then that's going to help you know. If it's an enlargement, the scale factor has to be greater than 1, and if it's a reduction, the scale factor has to be less than 1.
Okay, and as soon as you see and you label that it's a dilation, you better write image over original, write down on that question. You see how we have written down the ordered pairs, the image ordered pair over the original ordered pair, and you can choose the x values or you can choose the y values and in order to write down your rule or to select the rule that makes the most sense.